You've probably seen them all across Oklahoma. The blue Kroger delivery trucks that deliver groceries right to your doorstep. Well, starting February 1st of next year, the delivery service no longer exists. Roughly 250 Oklahoma City Kroger employees were notified early Tuesday morning that they are laid off. They were told the fulfillment location is closing and deliveries will end February 1st of 2026. Many people are now left to find jobs in the next 60 days. And those who rely on Kroger delivery services, whether it be here in the metro or rural communities, now have to find somewhere else to go to get what they need.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a breakdown of the stories shaping America today. Alright, let's get into it. Now, because today's topic is one rural America absolutely cannot afford to ignore. So, rural America trusted Trump. Now, they are losing everything. And the bill is finally coming due. Let's talk about it. For years, rural communities across the United States bet their futures, farms, small towns, local businesses, entire family histories on the promises of Donald Trump, right? They believed in the message. Bring back our jobs, protect farmers, restore the American heartland. Yeah, they believed he would put rural America first. But fast forward to today, and the reality is far from the promises. Now, farms are collapsing. Hospitals are shutting down. Infrastructures is falling apart. And now, even major corporations like Kroger are packing up and abandoning the very communities that kept them alive. And if that wasn't enough, Kroger just delivered one more blow. An abrupt closure of its Oklahoma City delivery center. No warning, no transition plan, no gradual phase out. Just boom, doors closed, workers laid off, and rural customers, especially elderly folks who depend on delivery services, left stranded. Let's break down what's really happening. Not the campaign slogans and not the hype, not the excuses, the truth.
Kroger is laying off up to 10,000 people as it closes 60 stores over the course of the next 18 months. This is after their multi-billion-dollar deal with Albertsons fell through as monopoly laws prevented this merger from happening. So Kroger, which also has brands like Ralph's and everything tied to it, going to be closing 60 stores. And this is a lot of people's jobs, guys. 10,000 jobs is not what America needs right now. We've had over 1 million layoffs already in the year of 2025, and we're not even done with October yet. So here's really hoping that this economy does something to turn around, because due to the terrible job market and due to all the layoffs as well as the ridiculous inflation, it's really hard on people out there right now. And I try not to make too many of these negative videos anymore, simply because I want to do things to help people and be uplifting, but some of this stuff has to be addressed. And where this stuff has to be addressed is like, the real truth is that Kroger groceries are about twice the price of Aldi and Walmart. Especially for the non-store brands. So you could argue that, but I know from shopping at Ralph's and when I go shop at Aldi that the price is less than half for me to do all of my brand shopping at Aldi than it is to go to a Kroger or a Ralph's. So, yeah, you can buy the store brand and be careful and get it closer, but really it's just more expensive overall. And when you have these brands that are charging double for groceries, like Albertsons, like Kroger, like Ralph's, like Stater Brothers, and you have brands like Aldi and Walmart, when you buy the store brands that are half the price, you can't help but understand why normal people that are struggling, especially people that can't get the kind of jobs that they're looking for right now, are going to go and grab what they can. And so I don't feel bad for them. This is why Aldi is expanding aggressively everywhere across the United States right now. It's the fastest growing grocery store chain. It's also rated the lowest prices. I understand Aldi isn't everywhere, but it will be soon. and they have a lot of practices that save them money. So let me know, is a Kroger the place that you go? Is this going to affect you? And how do you feel about all the layoffs in 2025? Because I'm concerned about it. I really want people to be able to have good jobs, be able to work and take care of their families. And I don't like seeing this trend, and I hope it turns around soon. After a $24.6 billion failed merger with Albertsons, Kroger is closing 60 stores nationwide over the next 18 months after poor earnings reports came out. So this could put between 6,000 and 9,000 people out of work, as each store tends to employ between 100 to 150 managers, guys, as cashiers, stock clerks, butchers, management, all of that. So Kroger right now employs about 41,000 people in the United States before these closures. So Kroger's been founded all the way back to like 1883 in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it has more than like 2,700 stores nationwide. So this 60 stores is not like a huge hit to their overall program. They're still very big, but they also own the brands Ralph's, Harris Teeter, and King Soopers. I don't know about Harris Teeter or King Soopers. I haven't seen those before. I'm on the coast right now, and originally I was from South Dakota. They didn't have those, but we do have a Ralph's that's right by the house. Now, let's talk about why this is really happening. So they can blame the earnings report, they can blame the economy, they can blame inflation. This is their own damn fault. And it's their own damn fault because Ralph's and Kroger's are about double the price of Walmart or Aldi. Sorry, it is what it is. So are Albertsons and Stater Brothers. I know because I shopped at Stater Brothers and Albertsons because they were by my house, the closest stores that there were. Now I shop at Walmart and Aldi. I love Stater Brothers more than anything, but all of these stores, Albertsons, Kroger, Staters, Ralph's, they're double the price for the groceries. I know because I compared them, because I didn't even like Aldi at first when I went to it. Now we got all of our weekly groceries exclusively Aldi. Anything that we can't get, we pick up at Walmart. That's what we do every week. My average grocery price for my family of four at Aldi is $117. I bought the exact same groceries to compare them there. You know what it was? $243 for the same food. Nothing was different. Get the same kind of milks, fruits, stuff. I'm like a very repetitive person, guys. So they can say whatever they want on this, but they're running this, they ran the prices way too high on all of us as Americans. And now brands like Aldi are everywhere in the United States. They're expanding rapidly. They're just voted the cheapest grocery store chain across the country. I know Aldi is not in every place. There's Food for Less. There's Heb in like Texas and all those in the southern states that we don't have here yet that I'd like to try too. But right now I'm getting my stuff mainly at Aldi, a little bit at Walmart. And the only thing I'll go outside of that for is like maybe meat, but they did this to themselves. Their prices are completely out of control and they got greedy with how much they were charging average Americans. Let me know if you think that's true.
And Kroger is laying off 1,000 employees in the red state of Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio is a red state that voted for this administration. Look at this. Kroger, grocery store chain, is laying off 1,000 people in this area. Right now, layoffs are rampant. Companies are losing billions because of tariffs. Companies are losing money because people are not shopping, because they're being laid off. People are afraid of what's going on in the economy. Yes, this is an economic crisis. A recession is coming, and maybe even something worse. If you did not know, there are over 7 million people unemployed right now in the United States. The second week of August, 235,000 new unemployed people hit the job. Layoffs are rampant. Please get your finances in order. Do not buy anything right now.
Kroger is closing 60 stores and laying off up to 10,000 American workers. So much for serving their communities. Now, they will tell you that this is all part of the big failure of the merger that they had in like an antitrust thing with Albertsons, where they tried to merge these two huge chains and they said no. And what it really comes down to, if we're going to be honest, I'll read the details of the story too, but it's really honest, is that I, like many other Americans, have gotten to the point where I'm very careful with my grocery shopping. I do the majority of my grocery shopping at Aldi because it's the cheapest brand in America. What I can't get at Aldi, I'll grab at Walmart. And then if I just want some really good meat or something, I'll hit like a Stater Brothers that's going to be about double the price. But Kroger, Ralph's, Albertsons, like all these big chains are double the price of an Aldi or Walmart base brand. And if you don't think they are, I know they are because I did this like 2 years ago when grocery prices got really scary. My favorite store is actually called Stater Brothers. It's out here on the West Coast. I love it. And I would go to Stater Brothers and my weekly groceries for a family of 4 were running about $2.20, guys. And so I was like, okay, $2.20. And then I kind of got into Aldi after a little bit. I was like, this is just really getting to be a lot every week. And so I grew to love Aldi because when I walked out, it was $107 for my weekly groceries for the same that I was spending at Staters. Now, half price for groceries is crazy work when you think about it. Yeah, I probably did get some more name brands at Staters or Ralph's or Kroger or Albertsons. But really, how crazy is that difference, guys? So here's the details of the story. So they say they're closing 60 underperforming stores to prep for the Albertsons merger. It's not going to happen. Number 2, inflation is crushing grocery margins, forcing store-by-store cuts. Number 3, they say the rise of automation and self-checkout are replacing hourly staff. Not really. I still see somebody having to stand at the self-checkout, so I don't really think it's true. Number 4, corporate narrative focus on strategic alignment, not layoffs. But it's 10,000 people laid off. What are you talking about? Union groups are warning of major local community impact. No duh. And last, internal memo says closures target regions with redundant market overlap. In other words, your groceries are twice as much as the other cheap chains, and you haven't been able to keep these stores profitable because of it. It's your own damn fault, Kroger. And 10,000 Americans are going to lose their job because you guys are greedy and charging double for groceries what Aldi and Walmart are charging. Let me know if I'm wrong. Tell me.
So Kroger just fired all their delivery people. You know how if you get on the Kroger app, it'll say there's a special deal for pickup and delivery? Well, Kroger just fired with an AI phone call to all their delivery drivers. Hey, we're no longer going to need your services. We're moving to a more AI electronic delivery system, which is kind of like what Walmart, the drones. You know what? I hate Kroger. And I'm going to tell you, Kroger is a horrible fucking company. And Kroger gets after TikTok. I've lost 3 of my videos about the horrible piece of shit that is Kroger Superstores. Whenever you get ready to retire from Kroger, the management team is down your neck the last year of your existence. Because they don't want to have to pay you a pension retirement. Because they've been trying to get away from the UFCW union for a long, long time, Kroger has. Because Kroger is an immoral company. And I know because I worked for them. This is for Kroger.
Just got your email. Just ruin it all. You had such a good thing going and then you just take it away. Just rip it away. No more home delivery. You ruined my day. Probably my month. Quite possibly you ruined my life. Oh, and this is for Publix where shopping is a pleasure. No, it's not. There's nothing pleasurable about your store anymore. Oh yeah, why don't you buy some milk for $5 a gallon? You want to buy some eggs? Pay $4.79. Only good thing you got Publix is your subs. Kroger.
Hello. So I just got laid off for the first time in my life. Really, really sad. I really liked my job. I worked for the Kroger main offices in Portland, Oregon. And they're doing a restructuring. And it's not personal, I guess. My boss is not happy. But it hurts. And this is not like I did something wrong. Anyways, so that's how my morning's going. I really, really liked what I was doing. And I did my best.
Okay, so it is officially a day after they announced that we're all losing our jobs at Kroger delivery. And so I just want to clarify one thing about this job position, because I've been seeing a lot of people being like, oh, it's a delivery job, what do you expect? So Kroger delivery is a W-2 position. We get hourly pay. We get full-time benefits. We get 401k offers, health insurance, all that stuff. PTO, VTO, if you've been there as long as I have, which is like 4 years since it started, you know, we're making like $23.50 an hour, which if you know in Florida, that's pretty good considering our minimum wage is like $15, $14. So yeah, it's not really like, obviously a job is a job, you know, but some people, you know, some people aren't chasing a career. Some people are just trying to make ends meet. You know, we all deserve to go to work, do what we got to do, come home, have food on the table, roof over our head. So I just wanted to clarify that. And then also the fact that this is Florida. Florida does not have Kroger stores because Publix runs the game down here. If you're from Tampa or anywhere in Florida, you know that. You know you could drive 5 miles and there's already like 2-3 Publixes that you can just walk into, boom, 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 on the same street. Publix runs the game. And we're going to touch back on that in a second. So pretty much, you know, they had everyone come in 7 a.m. because usually everyone's different shifts. Our days will start, like we have drivers that start at 3 a.m. to get people's groceries to them at 4 or 5 a.m. You know, because the Tampa spoke spans from a 65-mile radius up, down, to the sides. So we cover, you know, Pasco, Hillsborough, we hit up Lando, like Lakeland, Auburndale, all those places, especially places that are super, super far, super, super rural that most other grocery stores will not reach, or like Instacart drivers and them won't drive to, obviously, because it's like super far. And so, where's it going with that? Sorry, I'm like still sitting here trying to process everything. So we all get there. They really didn't have much to say other than like, hey, so you guys all know now, just so you know, this isn't a reflection of you guys. You guys did great work. You've always done great work because Tampa is the best spoke out of all of Florida. We've always, you know, pulled in numbers. We've always had high customer service ratings, on-time delivery, all this stuff. And it for good reason, because it was a good job. I'm not gonna, you know, obviously there's bad days. Every job has bad days. But, you know, when your route is like, you know, you're doing your full 8 hours, you have like 25 stops, and yeah, some of the orders are heavy or whatever, but it's not like Amazon where they're beating your backs with like 200 stops, 350 packages. You know, that's the reason why most of the customer service, if you've ordered with us, it's been good. It's because we're not like, obviously every driver is different, but when you're not overworked and beat down like that, yeah, you're going to get better customer service because we liked our jobs. A lot of us liked our jobs. So pretty much they were just trying to, you know, give the sympathetic feel. They told us that we have until the end of January. They wanted to keep us as long as they can so that our benefits can, our health insurance can roll over into February, which cool, whatever, you know, healthcare cuts, stuff like that. So grateful to have it. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to try and be super pessimistic. I'm fortunate enough to have a support system where, you know, I can get by, but I know other people that have just started, you know, they have new families. There's some drivers, they're about to hit retirement and they were just going to, you know, work this until like that goes through and whatever. So yeah, they didn't really give us much on that end, but I did talk to other drivers. I talked to other people because it was like, why is this suddenly just happening? And it does come from a few things. So I guess the biggest thing that should be talked about, and I just found this out, is if you remember a couple months back, Kroger was going to buy Albertsons. That was going to be a major deal. They were dead set on buying out Albertsons. But as we all know, that didn't happen. So that deal fell through. I think it was they got cracked down on for monopoly reasons, whatever. What I didn't know, and what most of us didn't know, was that Winn-Dixie approached Kroger with an offer to buy them out. That would have been they were like dead set. They were ready to be like, hey, you can buy out the rest of our stores, which meant Kroger would have been able to open up physical stores in the state of Florida. And they turned it down, probably because they were so dead set on getting Albertsons. And you know where Winn-Dixie went to after that? Aldi's. And now Aldi's is popping up everywhere. Wherever there's a Winn-Dixie, there is an Aldi's now. And that's big across Florida. I drive around all these areas. I see all these opening up, and they're raking it in. They're having a good, jolly good fucking time. So that's one major fucking hit. The second thing is, like I said, Publix owns Florida. That's not a joke. They're up there running. They're in the government at this point. They're in the pockets with Florida local governments. And what I mean by that and how I can say that is because when Kroger was expanding down here, we had Miami. Miami didn't pan out well, mostly because obviously it's a lot of local people. Floridians, we're not familiar with Kroger because Kroger is very Midwest. So the demographic of Miami is mostly local people. It's not snowbirds. But everywhere else in Florida was doing pretty good because we were having influx of snowbirds, which, have your opinions, whatever it is, they kept the lights on. So they closed down Miami and they were going to move up to Cocoa Beach. So Cocoa Beach was set and ready to go. They had the leases, they had the trucks, they had everything there ready. But the city would not approve the permits. And why was that? Because there are people in the government that are affiliated with Publix, be it their spouses, be it payouts, whatever. Yeah, so the city would not approve the permits. So they could not open those physical locations. So Kroger is paying off these leases with Tampa's revenue that they're just sitting on the land. They can't use it. So they would have Cocoa drivers, they would show up to the place. They would get chartered to Groveland to pick up the trucks for those routes and then drive all the way out to wherever those locations were to do those orders. So that's like an extra hour, 2 hours on top of what you're already paying these drivers to get them to the actual orders to send them on out. And so pretty much Tampa was floating the rest of these spokes because of this issue. We were making a lot of money. Tampa does a lot of sales because there's a lot of growth in this area. There's even and no one wants to pay Publix prices. Public prices are insane. I fully understand that. So yeah, we got fucking done in for a compound reason, but mostly I'm putting the blame not only on just the corporate mismanagement, but also Publix. So now we have over 1,000 people in Florida who have just lost their jobs in a market that's absolute dog shit, where prices are also jumping through the roof. So that's fun. That's great. Again, I have my own support system. I'll be okay, but my heart literally goes out for everyone else who obviously you have to work to live. Being jobless right now is like a death sentence. So yeah, fuck Publix, fuck Kroger. If you guys like video game art, comic art, hit me up. Might be doing a side hustling, taking commissions, doing all that stuff, Twitch, whatever I can do, I'm gonna do. So yeah. And thank you guys for the support and the nice comments and everything. It's good to know that we're all in this and together, and it's not, a lonely road.
So rural America has been struggling long before Trump stepped into politics. But the past few months have accelerated the decline to a point nobody can ignore, right? Farm bankruptcies have surged, especially among small family-owned farms, the backbone of rural economies. Tariffs and trade wars promised strength but delivered volatility, uncertainty, and skyrocketing prices and costs. Many farmers held on because they believed better days were ahead. Instead, they woke up to empty silos, rising debt, and zero safety nets. Now, hospitals already underfunded are isolated, are closing at alarming rates. When a rural hospital closes, it's not just about losing access to doctors, it's about losing jobs, losing emergency services, losing the very institution that keeps the community alive. Some towns now have to drive over an hour for basic medical care. That's not inconvenience, that's danger. And let's talk about rural infrastructure. Bridges are failing, roads are crumbling, broadband is a joke, and water systems in many areas are decades out of date, right? Promises of rebuilding turned into photo ops, press conferences, and well, nothing. Now, the sudden closure of the Oklahoma City Kroger Delivery Center is more than a business decision. It's a signal, a warning flare, a wake up call. Workers lost their jobs overnight. Families depending on those paychecks left scrambling. Now, elderly customers who rely on grocery delivery because they can't drive long distances or have medical challenges completely cut off. Now, and you know what's the official explanation they give? Corporate restructuring, efficiency, market conditions. What it really says is this: rural communities are no longer seen as valuable, not to big corporations, not to policymakers, not the people who promised to protect them. When a corporation like Kroger backs out, it's not an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern of rural abandonment. Now, here's the part that hurts actually. Rural America genuinely trusted Trump. They believed he was fighting for them. They believed he was their champion against coastal elites, global corporations, and the system. But promises to bring back manufacturing never materialized. Promises to end hospital closures, they didn't happen. Promises to help farmers, the opposite happened. Trade wars, higher costs, and unstable markets wiped them out. Now, promises to rebuild infrastructure, not even close. And now the grocery stores or the grocery service that many elderly residents depended on for survival, gone. This isn't about politics, it's about consequences. So here we are. Farms closing, hospitals closing, jobs vanishing, infrastructure failing, and corporations retreating. Rural America isn't just struggling; it's unraveling, and the people who trusted the most are losing the most. Now, the painful truth is this: belief alone cannot save a community. Hope alone cannot rebuild a failing system. Loyalty alone cannot reverse economic collapse. At some point, accountability has to enter the conversation because a country can't be great when its rural backbone is breaking. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think rural America is finally starting to realize the cost of the promises they trusted? Should corporations like Kroger be held responsible for abandoning vulnerable communities? And, what would it actually take to rebuild rural America, realistically, not politically? And most importantly, who is stepping up to fix this and who is still making excuses? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it insightful. More commentaries coming your way soon. And until the next one, God belongs to original creators.